Good morning. Late start today because we had kindergarten screening this morning. So it's about 10:30. We're going to get the planter loaded up. We've got about 40 acres or a little under 40 acres to plant corn to finish up that field that we're in. And then we're going to switch the corn planter over to plant some beans. And we're going to go like heck planting beans. Alright, so we're loading up fertilizer. I've got our in-furrow stuff up there. We need about 600 gallons on this tank, and we should have enough to finish this field that we're going in. I don't want to have much extra, especially on the planter. We're going to drop the tank for planting beans, so no extra weight on the planter than what we really need. So we're going to have less than 50 gallons, maybe 20 gallons. We're going to talk about what we're putting in for starter mix today. That's my plan here when we get to the field, but it's too hectic when everything's working. I'll miss something if I start trying to explain it right now. Okay, after fertilizer fill, a fuel and depth fill, we are back in the field planting. We don't have a ton of seed. I wanted to plant out this variety before we put the next variety in. So we've done that. We planted some ends along here, and we're just planting this out. Right there is where we ran out yesterday. I have injured myself. A nice scrape there. And another one there. So it's going to be fun for a couple of days while those heal, but whatever. If I had some water, I would wash that. It's quite dirty. I don't have any water. Phil is here with the black truck because he's got the bags of seed that we're going to put in to finish this field. And like I said, I didn't want to put them in until we got this empty. So when we're planting it out, when we're empty, we'll fill it up, and then we'll have enough to finish easily. We just switched varieties. We also need to switch scripts. This is different planting rates for different hybrids. So I have two different scripts based on what we were going to plant here. This hybrid is 13D55. This is 113-day corn. That is full season for us. Very full season. In fact, so full season that I'm only willing to plant 16 bags of it. So that's what we put in the planter. Well, we actually put 14 in. We've got 2 on the platform just in case we don't need them and I don't have to clean them out that way or clean out as much. So we're going to plant until we get low or run out, and we'll go see if we need to put those 2 in or not. So I've got that switched in there. We ran out right here. I am keeping notes, written notes, as well as the computer stuff, just for another reference point, I guess. So. Alright, now that we are off and running in a dust cloud, we can't see anything anyway. We can watch monitors, but we can't really watch the planter. Oh yeah, we can. Anyway, let's talk about our starter program this year and what all we're putting in. It is vastly different than what we did a year ago. So last year we only had a 2x2 system, single side of the row, and so we were putting on mostly phosphorus through that and sulfur. And those are important things, but we've changed up how we're doing it this year. So we have a 2x2x2 system, which the 2x2, what that typically means is 2 inches to the side and 2 inches below the seed, not below the ground. I don't know that we ever actually got it that deep with our old planter. I know we're not getting it that deep with this planter. So when they say 2x2x2, what they essentially mean is we're 2 inches off of both sides of the seed. And in our case, we're running about 2 inches deep, which is plenty deep. And so what we're putting on with that is nitrogen in the form of 28%, sulfur in the form of ATS, also some nitrogen in that, also some sulfur in our 28 because it's 28002. I got to turn. And I'll put you in my fancy little phone holder so I don't have to do that again. Anyway, so we've got 28002, which we're putting on, so we're putting on 15 gallons to the acre on average of this blend. The blend at 15 gallons per acre is 6.75 gallons, 28002. It is 5 gallons of ATS, ammonium thiosulfate, which is 120026. It is 3 gallons of 10340, which is a high phosphorus fertilizer. So we're using that. That is what we've used in the past for our phosphorus in the 2x2. And then we were putting on a quart of a zinc, 10% zinc. And that's just to give us some extra zinc in that soil profile for the corn plants. Now, all of those nutrients are what we would consider to be mobile or leachable except for the phosphorus. The phosphorus isn't going to move. It's going to stay basically right where we put it. The nitrogen, the sulfur, the zinc to an extent are all going to kind of move down through that soil profile, wash down into the root zone with water, which is why I say 2 inches deep is plenty deep. We really don't even need it to be that deep, but it's okay. Now, that gives us, I don't know, close to 26 to ish pounds, 30 pounds of nitrogen, something like that. I'd have to look up all of the nutrient stuff. I have all of those from when I was building the blends. I kind of figure out how much pounds of each nutrient we're getting in all those blends and use that to build them. In furrow, so we also have this in furrow system, which is the nozzle that drips right on the seed. That one is a product from Quality Liquid Feeds QLF Agronomy that is 7% nitrogen, 21% phosphorus, 3% potassium, and it is made from sugarcane molasses sugar. And so it is. It's got a lot of sugar. It's very dark and very molassesy smelling. You can tell that it is from molasses when you're loading it. And so the nitrogen there gives that the immediate nitrogen feed to the plants. It gives us a high dose of phosphorus right on the seed, right when that plant needs it, and it gives us a little bit of potassium in there. We broadcast potassium in the fall for the bulk of the potassium needs, potash. And then we're getting that sugar. The sugar may help the plant a little bit, get started with some carbohydrates and some photosynthesis, but it is also going to feed the soil microbes, which will then make more of our soil nutrients available to the corn plants as it's growing. So that is a good thing. In that blend, we are also putting a quart of a product called Carbon RX. And that's got some humic acid in it. It's got some fulvic acid in it. It's got some amino acids. It's another carbon source. So I really like what those things are doing. The humic acids also tend to buffer any salt content that our starter would have. Now our 721.3 is a low salt starter, so it's not terrible from that standpoint. But there is still a little bit of salt in it, and the humic acid keeps that from injuring the seedling roots. So that's what we're putting on for starter, and if you have any questions on that, let me know. I am starting to figure some stuff out with this monitor, and things are making a little bit more sense. Like our singulation, that is outstanding. Like I once in a while could come close to that with the old planter, but a lot of times we ran 98 to 99. Like that's incredible that it does that. I've also learned that if any one row is off in any of these categories, it turns the whole thing red and it looks like crap. Like we're playing at 99.8 and it's red. That's ridiculous. Same thing with the gauge wheels. Look at that, 99.9 and it's red. That just means that one row is way off. But like the gauge wheels right now, 99, 100%, but that one row is off, so it's red. And I'm not gonna worry about stuff like that. Like those are little details that I suppose the guys raising 400 bushel corn care about, but I just don't think that one row being off a little bit is gonna matter. Like, look at that. That's incredible. This pass is where things get a little bit sketchy. If we are gonna get stuck in this field, it's gonna be right here. There's a bunch of water right there. Dad made it through half of it with the field cultivator. Oh gosh, I'm nervous. I am nervous. We're gonna try it. I think we'll float across, but it doesn't look wet. It's just soft. It's muck. I know how this goes. Oh yeah, we're moving. We're moving. We're almost through it with the tractor. Oh yeah, we're golden. Golden. Yes. Whew. All right, we got a little angle to do here, and then we're back up in front of that hole. Man, it goes fast. All right, we got another pass, a little more. I don't know, we'll see how much once we get turned around here, but last few short rows here, and we're gonna be done. We are over 300 acres of corn planted. There was more in here than I thought. We had 2/3 of another pass. So anyway, this is the last one. So we're gonna go back to the farm because we have to change plates and clean out all the corn and drop our fertilizer tank. And we're gonna go plant beans this afternoon. All right, we got to switch our planter over to beans here. So I dropped our tank. We are pulling seed out of all the meters here. We got to empty the CCS tanks yet and purge the hoses. We'll get there. So we open that up, put our little handy catch cup up there, and then pull the plate. And most, not all, most of the seed falls in the cup. I'm just setting those down for right now. Cleaning out here, and then I have found that if I do this, we get more. So we knock on that until the seed comes out. And we dump it in a bag 24 times. Okay, next we disengage the double eliminator, move it back to there, and we have to change out these agitation strips for a smooth one. So we're pulling all of these out. Next up, we put in the smooth agitation strip. Oops. After we drop it on the ground. Smooth. I didn't film the first one so I wouldn't mess it up, but one-handed makes it a little more challenging, and these go in pretty tight. Come on. There. Okay. Next, we install plates. They go on. And then you twist this, which I can't do with one hand. Hold on. Like that. Close the door, which I can do with one hand. Put the vacuum hose back on. I believe at this point, all we need is seed. But our pickup that we're going to use is up at the field already. So we're going to take the tractor up, bring the pickup back, grab our seed tender, which we've already got cleaned out. There's no corn in it. Go load up 2 boxes. We'll take them up, put them in the planter. We'll go back, get the other 2 boxes, take it up there so that when we do run out of seed the first time, we'll have more ready to go. And that should plant the majority of that field. We might run just a little bit short, but we'll see. So dirty. Everything is always so dirty. I even washed the tractor off again last night. Anyway, we are ready to go now. So we don't need fertilizer. We don't need anything. We're not even going to take seed. We're going to go up to the field empty. Ooh. So there's a narrow bridge, low weight limit bridge between here and that field. I can fit across it with the tractor, barely. But we're way overweight. But we're long. We won't be on the bridge at the same time. Do we go all the way around, or do we take the narrow bridge? Let's see. Take the almost $1 million planter tractor combo across the bridge that might fall down when we get to it. Drive 2 miles out of the way. I think we'll take the long way. Narrow bridge that way. 10 tons. Even the tractor weighs more than 10 tons by a lot. We're over 20 tons, so yeah, we're gonna pass on that one. Hey, look, you guys see that field right there? That field is planted to soybeans. Phil did that one yesterday. And this one over here, Dad worked that yesterday. That one's ready to go to corn. We could be planting there right now if we wanted to be. But we're going over there across the river. Do you guys remember the field across the river over there? You probably shouldn't from what I have just said, but you should remember the field because that is our irrigated corn field that is going to soybeans this year, not corn, soybeans. And we're going to plant it with the corn planter in 30-inch rows. Yes, I'll explain. Okay, we got in the field. I even set the planter down so that we can, or unfolded it and set it down so we can fill a little bit easier. And we're gonna take the truck and go get our seed. Oh, this is beautiful, this field. Oh, just worked up perfect. It looks fantastic. I have a question for you guys. Today's April 14th. I just looked up the temperature at the weather station at the farm because the tractor, when I pulled into the field, said, "What is the weather conditions?" Apparently it's going to record that for me. So I'm like, all right, I'll play along with you. And so I looked it up. It is 81 degrees right now. 81. And I know that there's a chance of rain tomorrow night into Sunday. And I know that Monday we're looking at a high in the high 40s, maybe 50. And Tuesday in the low 50s, I think. And then back into the 60s and 70s by the end of the week. Am I crazy? Am I crazy for planting this much? I mean, we got 300 acres of corn in the ground. We're going to have close to 400 acres of beans in the ground by the end of today. Am I the one out of my mind here? I have not seen another person do anything. I have not seen a single other tractor working. Now, granted, I have not ventured very far away from where I've been working because I've been busy. But it is as dry as I can ever remember it for the 14th of April. Like, it is dry. We should be working. Ground conditions and temperature dictate you go. Why isn't anybody else doing anything? Is it me? Am I the crazy one? Brock just called me. He's got to go. He's got a house fire. So there he goes. And we'll see if Jack wants to run that disc for a little while. He'll be back. Brock was just working right across the road there. So Jack's here. He's going to go jump in the tractor. You can't really see it, but we're getting our hitch set up so we can hook up to this trailer, go down to the seed warehouse, grab a couple boxes. All right, we've got our first 2 boxes. There's Jack working. Disc seems to be doing a pretty nice job. It's just loosening the dirt up, making a nice seed bed. We're not going very deep, just a couple of inches, but it's knocking the old corn stalk rows down. And yeah, I like the job that it looks like it's doing. I haven't walked out there to look real close, but the field we were just in where we parked the planter looked really good. Soybeans going in. I forgot to take the bags of corn off, but that's okay. They'll ride. Oh yeah, they're getting coated. We're using some Grow Pack SB, the soybean stuff. It's a double inoculant basically, because these are inoculated beans that we are adding a powdered inoculant to as well. Necessary? Probably not. This is where we're going to shoot for 100 bushel beans. Right here. We're going to do everything we can, including double inoculate them. All right, our planter is full. We're going to go load up 2 more full boxes because we're going to need them to plant this field, so we'll just get them and have them sitting up here ready to go rather than have to run back and get them later, I think. Yeah. We'll get to planting eventually. I'm in much less of a hurry than normal during planting season, and I don't know if that's because I can go fast and I know I can get a lot done still. I'm not. I don't feel like I'm getting a lot done, at least not very quickly, but or if it's because it's the 14th of April and we're still super early and I don't need to be in a hurry. I don't know. But it's going to be 4:30 before we get to planting beans, and I mean, I have a 24-row high-speed planter that has planted all of 36 acres today. We ain't exactly flying through stuff. Scratch that. We're not going to be planting by 4:30. Phil just called me as I was loading up there. He's having steering issues on the 8R. Redundancy loss, something, I don't know. This happened to me 2 years ago. We had a wire rubbed through. I know where it's at. I know where to look. We're going to go see what we can find. And I don't know. I got to go help him. Dead in the water. Can't turn it. Ridiculous. I've had this happen before. I thought I knew where to look. I looked. It didn't seem to fix the problem. I didn't really see anything wrong. We're going to just forget it. We're going to leave it and call the dealer. Par for the course. All right. Well, we're finally ready to go plant. I think I might do a live stream. We'll get the ends done. See how we're doing. Might be a surprise pop-up live stream. You guys missed it if I did it. All right, we went a little ways. I decided to come out and do some digging, and I've already done that. We're a little bit deep, so we're gonna shallow every row up 1 notch. Like that. Supposedly that's about 1/4 inch. I don't know. We'll check again, but it's just a little too deep. Not a lot, but I don't want to be deeper than 2 inches with beans. Oh, all right. All right. I'm feeling better. You get a lot done before you get a chance to really adjust stuff, and look, now I'm not. Dang it. I've got these rows that are low in population, and I don't know if it's a vacuum issue. I went through, Deere's got their equipment app or whatever, and it says to run the vacuum higher than what I was, so I've been turning that up, and it seemed to help for a minute, and then I sped up again. I slowed down. Maybe I need to slow down again. I'll keep playing with stuff, but we're getting it dialed in. They're low, but they're not what I would consider unacceptable low. You know, they're planting 120,000 instead of 140. It's just not where it's supposed to be, and so I'm trying to get everything dialed in. I did set our row cleaners down a notch because we've got a lot of trash up here, so we're trying to move it out of the way, plant into good clean soil. Well, you guys can't see out my front window very good, but one of our irrigation lanes is right here. There's no residue in it. We are planting right through it. We are not leaving irrigation lanes. We might irrigate these soybeans, but they are short enough that our gun will go over the top of them, so we don't have to leave lanes. We just drive down the rows. We might run a few over. We definitely will run a few over, but not the end of the world. So right there is our center lane. We go all the way back to the river to the pump over there. So we're gonna keep moving across here. I don't know. I've torn rows apart over and over and over, and I get them a little better, and then they're not. And I'm at a loss for what is different on those rows. I mean, I've literally tore them all apart, looked through them. I swapped meters from row to row. It follows the meter, so I know it's in the meter. It's not. I just don't know. So why 30-inch row beans? Well, let's talk about it a little bit. You guys have had lots of comments about this field and why we would plant them in 30-inch rows and stuff, and there are a couple of reasons. Somebody made a comment about if you plant them in half as many rows, won't they yield half as much? Well, no, but we're not planting half as many beans. We're planting more beans in a concentrated row. They're just closer together in that row instead of being spread out a little bit more. So it's generally accepted that narrower rowed beans are better. There are a couple of situations, though, where there are maybe some exceptions to that. And I think this field may be one of them. And so one of the things that we fight here, 2 years ago when we had beans in this field, we had white mold come in really bad. And white mold is caused when we have wet foliage, wet plants, humid conditions, stagnant air, you know, just those right kind of weather conditions. Basically, there's a fungus or a disease that lives in the soil, and it kind of forms this little mushroom fruiting body thing that poofs spores up into the under the canopy of the plants when they're flowering in late June, early July, and it infects the plants through those flowers, and will show up later in August, maybe late July, as plants dying sporadically throughout a field, maybe in a patch, but not a whole patch that's going to die. It's just certain plants scattered around in that general area. It also, when you split the stems open on the dead plants, you'll see black, little black pieces in there, and it'll have a white fuzzy mold on the outside of the plants. This field had it really bad 2 years ago, which is why we are planting 30-inch rows. Now, why does 30-inch rows help white mold? Well, because it allows for more air movement. It allows the air and the breeze and the wind to get down between those rows and dry that lower canopy out, so you don't have the conditions that allow the white mold to get started quite so bad. Does it totally stop it? Nope, does not. We were in 30-inch rows the last time we were here. It would have been much worse if we'd had narrower rows. So that's one reason. Number two, we might actually irrigate this. It is, I'm not saying we will, but I'm not saying we won't. It is much easier to irrigate them in 30-inch rows than it is in 15-inch rows. So now the disadvantages, and the reason that narrower rows are generally better, is because you canopy faster. You capture more sunlight in narrower rows. But we're early. We're extremely early. The earlier you get, the less of an advantage narrow rows have. If it was after the 15th of May, there's no way I would be doing these in 30-inch rows, especially after the Memorial Day, the 1st of June. So, but on the 14th of April, yeah, we'll probably be okay here. And so I don't see it being a problem. I think it'll be good. Plus, it lets me get some more done. You know, our bean planter is dead in the water right now, and at least we're getting some beans in the ground. So I feel like I've got enough corn in the ground for the coming weather system that I don't really want to take the risk of planting more. So planting beans, we're getting something done. It's fun. I'm a little frustrated with my planter for not being able to figure out why these rows are lower in the population. I have not found anything that fixes it. But we're going to do 175 acres of beans, switch the plates. You know, 120,000 is probably enough. 135 that we're shooting for is probably too much. So I'm gonna not worry about it. We're just gonna go plant. We're covering ground. I don't know how many acres we've got down, but it's a lot. So I'm playing with my monitor and digging through some settings here, and I just found something that made me say, oh my gosh, look at this one, right? I have found the RPM of the plates and the brush belt. The seed discs are spinning at 1,700 RPMs. That's insane. Like, I thought they'd be like 100, 50. I don't know, how does it even pick up the seed that fast? That cannot be right. 1,700 RPM? No wonder some of them can't do it. Gee, that's flying. Let's see. How many seeds per minute are we planting? That's just what I need to figure out. I bet there's something in here that will tell me that. I was just starting to think we got to be about out of seed. And then that came up. Seed bin 2 is almost empty. I'm not sure if we'll make it to the end of the field or not. But we've got right at about 80 acres done. So yeah, that's good. We're doing what we're supposed to be doing, putting seed in the ground. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Dust is flying. Crops are getting planted. It's April 14th. Everything is good. Just relax. I tell myself, as my planter is not quite planting the right population all the way across. I have had some down pressure sensor issues. I'm sure somebody was getting ready to ask that because of the problems that Zach had. I was assured that the PIP had already been done to this planter, but I called to check on that a little bit ago to say, hey, what's going on with this? Because I had let them know. And they said the PIP has been ordered. It will be in Monday, the kit, whatever. So next week we get to work on a planter, it sounds like. Oh yeah, Dad had tractor issues and already had the John Deere Tech out this morning on the 9R because it was throwing the same codes it was last fall, and they changed the oil cooler, I think, over the winter and told me that was going to fix it, and it didn't. So that's frustrating. And then our 8R with the steering codes, who knows what's going on with that. So while it's early and we're doing good and we've got some stuff done, we've got some problems too, and it's very frustrating. And I'm glad that it's early and we aren't getting started late and having issues, because then we'd be frustrated. So push hard here through the end of today. Finish this. Shoot. We almost made it to the end of the field before we ran out of seed. Not quite. Push hard today. Finish this field. I would like to finish the field that Phil is planting in tomorrow if they get the tractor fixed in the morning. And I have 2 more fields of beans, another 90-ish acres that we would like to plant. If they don't get planted, it ain't the end of the world. Phil was gonna do them this afternoon because he'd be there now if the tractor was running. But given that it's not, maybe I'll do them with this tomorrow. I don't know. We're gonna finish this one tonight, no problem. So, well, I don't know. Oh yeah, I found this tire poker earlier. It's amazing that can be out here in this field and never have actually caught a tire. No idea what it's from. I'll throw it in the truck here. Sure plants it right out. This side's not empty. Where did I plant half a planter? Oh, on the triangle in the back there, must have planted with that side and not this side. Because I put the same amount in both sides, but when you're with your section control, when you're only doing part of a width or part of a pass, it uses one side more than the other. Everything's so dirty. Ugh. Look what I see over there. Way over there. Somebody else is doing something. Good. I'm not the only one. I just finished up a live stream that I decided to do last minute. Hopefully you caught it. If not, you can go back and watch it. But we've made it all the way across the field here. Look at this. We're all the way across the field. In fact, we're doing the edge along the neighbors right there. I can't see. I don't know. I have no idea. We're close. We're using auto steer line that I already have set. I know we're at least close, but it's going. It's going pretty well. We're cruising across the field. So we have this point up here to do. We have this triangle. That's what we've got left to plant. Bad news. We ain't gonna make it. We are gonna run out of seed with that much to go. And I don't have any more to plant up here. Like it's not like just go get it and put it in. It's like I don't have it. It's not treated, it's not ready. I could get some untreated and throw up here, I guess. We'll see how many acres are left. But I don't think it's gonna happen. Well, I don't think we're gonna make it, but we're gonna even them out and see how close we get. Okay, see that? That's what we got left. 4.5 acres, not even. Dang. I should just go grab some untreated bags and throw them in is what I should do. I don't want to do it tonight. I'm not doing it tonight. We'll grab some bags in the morning or something. I need 5 bags of beans to finish up. That's it. It's not a big deal. I'm not going to do it tonight. So, anyway, let's call it. We got, yeah, we did 170, yeah, about right there in this field. So that's a pretty good day for beans, plus the 36 of corn. We planted over 200 acres today. I mean, I didn't even start planting the beans until 5 o'clock, and I had done the corn 36 acres before that. I didn't get to the farm till 11. I mean, we're having good days. It's just not the super ultra productive ones that you would think you could have with a 24-row high speed. So someday we'll get there. Just haven't yet. But anyway, let's go back to the farm. Well, a little work with an air hose, and I'm not so bad, but I'm still dirty. So anyway, I'm going home. It's almost 10 o'clock. Thanks for watching today. Things will be a little different tomorrow. I don't know how much different. My phone lens is dusty. We're going to take 5 bags up there and finish that. And then, what are we going to do then? I don't know. We'll see if they get our tractor fixed. If they do, hopefully Phil will plant beans. I might go across the road and plant some beans there. We've got that ready to go. It needs to get planted. It might be me. Hold on. A little better. It might be me that does it. It might not. I don't know. We'll see. If we're not planting after those 4 acres, we're going to do tillage. We're going to keep the field cultivator moving. We're going to keep the disc moving until it rains. We're about done planting, but we're going to keep the tillage going as long as possible. So Dad also has one more field of wheat to spray. He's going to do that tomorrow before the rain comes, so the rain washes it into the ground. So anyway, that's the plan. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe to the channel, please. Would very much appreciate that. We'll see you again in the morning.